Nestled deep within the dense woods, the Whispering Pines campsite was the perfect retreat from bustling city life. Excited to escape the monotony, my friends and I embarked on a weekend camping adventure. Little did we know, our idyllic getaway would soon turn into a nightmare. As the sun began to set, we gathered around the campfire, recounting ghost stories under the starry sky. Sarah, always one for suspense, started telling a chilling tale about a cursed path hidden within Whispering Pines. According to local legends, anyone who ventured on that trail never returned. Later that night, as our laughter subsided and exhaustion took hold, the woods around us were disturbed by mysterious rustling sounds. The branches overhead swayed violently, despite there being no wind. Fear crept through our veins, and we scanned our surroundings, searching for the source of the disturbance. But all we saw were the endless dark shadows cast by the towering pines. Unable to drown out the unnerving sounds, we huddled together in our tents, hoping to find solace in each other's presence. But the rustling persisted, gradually becoming more intense as the night wore on, making sleep nearly impossible. Hours later, when the woods seemed to finally calm down, an eerie silence enveloped the campsite. In the dead of night, a ghastly figure emerged from the darkness. Translucent and ethereal, the ghostly apparition floated above the ground, staring directly at us with hollow eyes. Frozen with terror, our hearts pounded as the mysterious figure glided towards our tents. It moved effortlessly, its chilling presence sending shivers down our spines. We dared not move or make a sound, but the apparition seemed unaffected by our presence, continuing to survey our campsite. Just as abruptly as the specter appeared, it vanished, leaving us in bewildered silence. We cautiously emerged from our tents, bewildered and shaken to the core. Slowly, we realized that one of our friends, Jason, was missing. Panic set in as we desperately searched for him, calling his name into the dark void. Suddenly, we heard a voice. Jason's voice, faint and distant. It came from deep within the forest, seemingly carried by the wind. Following the sound, we stumbled through thorny underbrush and twisted tree roots, desperately hoping to find our friend. We soon found ourselves on a desolate trail. Despite our better judgment, we had unknowingly ventured onto the dreaded path Sarah had told us about that very evening. As we walked further, the trees whispered indiscernible words that filled us with foreboding. Terrifying apparitions appeared intermittently. Phantoms of those unfortunate souls who had lost their way within Whispering Pines. Fearful and haunted, we forced ourselves to push onward. The path twisted and turned, seemingly leading us in circles. Desperation fueled our determination. Suddenly, a surge of dread washed over us when we stumbled across a crumpled, blood-stained campsite. It was an exact replica of our own. Finally, we saw a glimmer of moonlight through the thick trees, leading us back to the campsite. We found ourselves standing in shock, struggling to comprehend the sight before us. Sarah, our storyteller, the one who warned us of the cursed path, was missing. Fueled by adrenaline, we quickly packed our belongings, eager to flee from Whispering Pines. As we sprinted towards our cars, Sarah inexplicably reappeared, her face pale and tormented. She whispered words none of us could understand before collapsing to the ground. To this day, we carry the scars, both physical and emotional, of that fateful camping trip at Whispering Pines. We learned the hard way that some places hold ancient secrets and restless spirits lurking within the shadows, waiting to claim lost souls who dare to venture too far into the unknown. It was a crisp autumn evening when my friends and I decided to embark on a camping trip to a remote and mysterious location known only as Deadwood Campground. The tales surrounding this place were enough to send chills down our spines, but we brushed them off as mere superstitions. Little did we know, our adventure was about to become a true nightmare. Upon arriving at the campground, we immediately noticed an eerie silence that seemed to envelop the entire area. The dense forest, with gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers, made us feel as though we were being watched. Ignoring our unease, we set up camp near a decrepit cabin, rumored to be haunted. Eager to uncover the truth behind the campsite's infamous reputation. As soon as nightfall descended, the atmosphere took a sinister turn. A haunting wind whistled through the trees, causing our tents to sway ominously. It wasn't long before strange noises began to echo around us. The snapping of twigs and rustling leaves seemed to amplify our anxiety, as if an unseen presence was lurking just beyond the shadows. Unable to sleep, I kept watch over the campsite while my friends tossed and turned in their tents. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air. Jolting me to my feet, I rushed towards the sound, finding my friend, Sarah, terrified, pointing towards the cabin. There was someone standing by the window. They had no face, just darkness, where their features should be. She stammered, her eyes wide with fear. Fear seized me, but curiosity drove us to investigate further. Armed with flashlights, we cautiously approached the dilapidated cabin. The broken windows creaked as the wind whispered through the decrepit structure. Inside, we found evidence of a long-abandoned existence. Torn photographs, tattered clothing, and cryptic messages scrawled on the walls. As we explored deeper, an inexplicable aura tightened its grip around us. Shadows danced in the corners, and the temperature plunged even though the night remained mild. Our hearts raced as we heard faint whispers, as if incoherent voices were beckoning us closer. A sudden gust of wind extinguished our flashlights, plunging us into total darkness. In the pitch black cabin, terror consumed us. Desperate to escape, we fumbled through the darkness, our hands brushing against moth-eaten curtains and crumbling furniture. Panic intensified as we realized we were no longer alone. Whispers grew louder, forming sinister phrases that echoed through the air. Each step forward seemed to draw us deeper into the chilling abyss. Finally, we stumbled upon a hidden door, its warped wood groaning in protest as we pushed it open. Outside, the moon peeked through the dense canopy, casting an eerie glow over the campground. The whispers abruptly ceased, and a sense of relief washed over us. We wasted no time gathering our things and hastily retreated from Deadwood Campground, grateful to leave its dark secrets behind. To this day, we cannot explain the horrors we experienced that fateful night at Deadwood Campground. It serves as a constant reminder that some places hold secrets best left undisturbed. If you ever find yourself drawn to a remote and unsettling camping site, remember our harrowing tale and tread carefully, for not all stories have happy endings. It was a bright summer day when our group arrived at Whispering Pines, a tranquil camping site nestled deep in the woods, with towering trees, a glistening river, and abundant wildlife. It seemed like the perfect retreat for adventure seekers like us. Little did we know that this camping trip would soon turn into a spine-chilling ordeal. As twilight descended upon Whispering Pines, whispers spread among our group about strange occurrences. My My friend Sarah claimed to have heard eerie cries in the night, while Jack swore he saw shadowy figures lurking among the trees. I brushed it off as mere exaggerations until that fateful night. One evening, as we gathered around the crackling campfire, a sense of unease washed over us. The forest grew unusually silent, and a chill crept up our spines. Piercing the silence, a distant rustling caught our attention. We strained our ears, only to witness the unnerving sight of a tall, gaunt figure lurking at the edge of the woods. The man, with hollow eyes and an unnaturally thin frame, stood motionless under the pale moonlight. Fear consumed us all as his presence seemed to linger, his sinister gaze piercing through our souls. Without uttering a word, he retreated into the shadows, leaving us to question our own sanity. Determined to uncover the truth, we embarked on a midnight expedition into the heart of the haunted woods. Armed with flashlights and trepidation, we trekked through the dense undergrowth. The trees whispered among themselves, their branches almost clawing at our clothing as if trying to impede our progress. As we delved deeper, we stumbled upon an abandoned campsite. The remnants of a once lively group made our hearts sink. Overturned chairs, scattered personal belongings, and half-finished meals. Dread washed over us when we heard distant cries mingled with the echo of a sinister laughter. Driven by a mix of curiosity and concern, we followed the haunting calls into a hidden clearing. There, we witnessed a tormenting sight. A man, his visage twisted with agony, crawled on all fours, his skin pale and mottled, his hollow eyes, devoid of life, pierced through our beings. Appalled and frozen in fear, we soon realized that this man was once human, now lost in the throes of unexplainable suffering. His presence pulsed darkness and despair, as if he were a conduit for the malevolent energy permeating the woods. It became evident that there was something supernatural at play, something far beyond our understanding. Terrified and desperate, we fled the haunted haven of Whispering Pines. None of us could put into words what exactly had transpired, but the horror of that night would forever linger. We left, vowing never to return and to keep our encounters a secret. Our souls were forever scarred, our perception of reality forever altered. Whispering Pines, once a serene camping site, had transformed into a sinister realm, hosting a presence that defied comprehension. The mysteries of that fateful encounter remain unanswered, locked away in the dark recesses of our memories, serving as a reminder that evil can lurk even in the most idyllic settings.